All right, I start recording. Okay, so I want to make sure everyone is ready to go. Any connection issues, any concern, just let me know. If you don't, please say yes. You are ready to go. All right, great. Okay, so managerial decision making. Let's talk about that. Okay. All right. Again, exam next week, Tuesday. 3 chapters, chapter 6, 8, 9. Okay. This time, I will a little bit raise the bar, okay, because in the last exam, you did great. Okay. So I will raise a little bit higher, okay. All right. So but still between easy and medium, okay, not too high, okay. And presentation two, find the real case, any organization, profit seeking, non-profit seeking, doesn't matter, and apply what I have discussed with the chapter 6, 8, 9. Okay, so this presentation, okay, will provide a chance, okay, to practice. Okay? You connect the real world to the concepts, the knowledge we talked about. Okay. So your presentation will focus on why some organizations succeed, why others not. Okay. Any question, comment? Okay. Let's move. I will be a little bit speedy. Okay. All right. So warm keys. Okay. I'm not worried about anything. You're doing good. You are doing good. Okay. Small number of students in this class, but you are doing great. Okay. So average is 8.5 out of 9. Okay. And standard deviation is very low. Okay. Then look at these distributions. Okay. I love it. Okay. So I don't have any problem or any issue, okay, with your performance. That means, okay, so more students will have A. Okay. Most students will have B. Okay. So the distribution of your grade will be moving upward. Okay. Upward drastically. Okay. So let's take one case. Let's start with one case. Please go ahead on Canvas. All right. Then there is a chapter 9 one case. Chapter 9 one case. So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. So 10 minutes. What time is it? 9:46 a.m. Okay, 10 minutes. When you're done, please let me know. Just type done. I'm gonna mute my microphone, but I'm here. right, great. Medium, yeah, certain done. If you need more time, please let me know. So they almost done. Okay. Okay, Peter, Savannah, done. You need more time? All right, good. Okay. So let's talk about that. Okay. Number one, okay, making a choice, decision making. Okay. Number one, making a choice is the most significant part of the decision making process. True or false? Actually, this is very important question. Medium says false. Why medium? Why false? All right. Anyone else? Why this is false? This question can be a little bit tricky, but it has very important implications. Why false? No one? All right, think about that. It's a decision making process. Process means flow, multiple steps, multiple steps, flow. If there is any missing, any unimportant step, this process will be failed. There's only any missing step, this process will fail. Okay, so it is very hard. It is very hard to say any step is the most significant, not important, something like that. It doesn't make sense. So making a choice is a part of decision making process. Okay, so think about the steps. So you in a decision making process, you need to have your information about the situation. Then you think about your alternatives. Okay, from these alternatives, you make decision. Okay, and you implement the decision. This is a process. Okay, so making a choice is a part of the decision making process. So absolutely, I agree with that. But the most significant, it is very hard to say something like that. Make sense? Medium? Okay, all right. So it has good implications. Okay, very good question actually. Number two, in the real world, few decisions are certain. Yes, it's true. That's true. Okay. Most decisions are uncertain because there are a lot of information you have to deal with, changing environments. Okay. So this is true. Okay. Number three, the approach. Oh, that's why we talked about real options with this. Okay? Because few decisions are certain. Okay. Number 3, the approach that managers use to make decisions usually falls into one of 3 types: the classical, administrative, and political. Yes. Yes. Okay. So classical model is a rational model. Okay. Like economics models. Okay. So everyone is rational, and then they make decisions to maximize their returns. Okay? So this is a classical model. Administrative model. Okay? Hey, people, I like the classical model. Okay? It has some logics, but the problem is people do not behave in that way. They are not always. They're not always. Okay? Not always, maximize their gains. Okay? Because there are some bounded rationality. There's no free information. There's no perfect information. So people have bounded information. Then they have bounded rationality. Okay? Satisfying can be a goal of their decision making. And political model is, hey, an organization is a group of people, so you should have the harmonized people. Okay, so people, they have their own interest, and then they conflict. These interests are conflicted, then they have the best solution to satisfy other people. This is a political model. So classical model, administrative model, and political model. Okay? All right. And according to the classical model, again, classical model of decision making, managers searches for alternatives are limited because of what is this? Human information resource constraint. This is what? Administrative model, not classical model. Classical model it's something like a mathematics. Okay? Full information, okay? Full rationality, and the best decision. Okay? But it's not usually done in that way in the real world. Okay? Number 5, the process of forming alliances among managers is called coalition building. Yes. Okay? Yes, it's true. It's true. Okay? And number 6, non-program. Oh, I like this. Program decisions and non-program decisions. Program decisions, what? It's a routine, like a routine. Okay? Non-programmed is like a strategy. Okay? Not, repeatedly happens. Okay? So non-program decisions require 6 steps. However, program decisions being structured and well understood require only 1 step. No. We talked about that, right? Decision-making process. That means multiple steps, flow of these steps. This is a process. We say decision-making process. Any process has multiple steps. So only 1 step, it doesn't make sense. Number 7, risk propensity. Risk propensity refers to the willingness to undertake a risk. Yes. With the opportunity of gaining an increased payoff. Yes, it's true. Number 8, the behavioral style is often adopted by managers, okay, who like to consider complex solutions based on as much data as they can gather. Data, okay? It says data, then it's a analytical style. 4 styles, okay? I assume you read the textbook already, so 4 styles, okay? 4 styles. Directional style, and analytical style, and conceptual style, and behavioral style. Okay? This is the definition of analytical style, right? Data. analyze than the analyzed style. Okay? Behavior style is more focused on the behaviors, actions. Okay? Number 9, managers will frequently look for new information that contradicts their instincts or original point of view. How do you think about that? Is it true or false? Number 9. Medium say yes. That means you say true. Okay, Savannah is typing something. And medium. Okay, I want to see it. I want to see it. It's false. Savannah says false. Why, Savannah? Why you say it's false? I'm waiting for Savannah's comment. Savannah is typing something. Savannah is typing a lot. She has a lot of things to talk about. Okay. Right. I thought it's because the book said most. All right. So the book says so. Okay. Basically. Okay. All right. So textbook is just textbook. Okay. So I wanna you think about the real world. Real world. Okay. So managers, they usually use, actually you can find it. You can find it. Okay. In this case, you can find these cases in your ordinary life. You can just think about your managers. Sometimes they just do what they did. They just do what they did. It's a past dependency. We talked about that, right? Past dependency. So people usually are willing to apt to do what they did. So they have some level of past dependency. Okay? So yes, some managers can look for new information, something like that, but most managers do not. Okay? So that's why they need you. Okay? They need you. So you get a job, okay, in the future, then your managers will have to do what they did. But actually, you have a new perspective. You have a new idea. Then you can add up. You can talk about it with your managers. Then you can show the new directions of the business, something like that. So you will do that. Okay? That's why they need you. That's why you will have a job. Okay? All right, good. So, any question, comment? All right. So everything makes sense. So can I move? Okay. Thank you, medium. Okay. Thank you, Savannah. All right. So let's move. Okay. So decision-making process, programmed, non-programmed. We already talked about, right? Okay. Racial model, behavioral model, and political model. We talked about that, right? And 6 steps in making decisions, okay? And 4 personal decision styles, okay? Directional, analytical, conceptual, and behavioral styles. Okay? So we already talked about some important points of this chapter. Okay, then we just make sure. Okay, so choice, all right, and planning, organizing, leading, controlling, all of these steps, all of this process, making a choice is involved with. Okay? All right. Then today class activity is your chapter case, the office. Very simple. Very simple. The what is that? Very simple story, but it happens a lot. It happens a lot. Okay. So let's talk about that. Okay. So I'm gonna make the breakout rooms. Then I'm gonna give it 10 minutes. Okay. You will have time. Okay, please go ahead. Please go ahead in the breakout rooms. Okay, share your answers, your perspective with your team. Then I want to just summarize. Okay, summarize it. Okay. Okay, please go ahead.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
All right. Okay. So I believe your discussion was good. Okay. So let's talk about that. Okay. The case, the office. Okay. So the first question, what mistakes do you think Michel is the director, right? Decision maker, made with the way he solved the problem of limited office space. Anyone? Just started? Team 1 or team 2? The first question, what was the mistake? Please turn on your microphone and say something. Okay?
I think, of course, the biggest mistake was not including at least someone from the department for which he was making a decision that was going to affect all of them.
All right. It was a big problem. No communication, right? No communication. So communication is every time communication is important. Actually, you yourself, you experience this situation sometimes in your job, okay? In your campus job or in your part-time job or something like that. Okay? Missing communication is always a problem. Okay? Anything else? Any other point? Right. Is it program or non-program decisions? It is non-program decisions, right? So actually, program decisions is something like a routine. Huh? So probably communication is less important in the program decisions, but in non-program decisions, what the communication is more important, right? So also, if it is non-program decisions, what characteristics of decision making? Unstructured, not well understood, and it's not, unpredictable, something like that. So communication is very, very important. All right, great, good, Miriam. All right, number 2, what approach would you have used if you were Michelle? Okay, what are you gonna do if you are Michelle? So better communication can be one option. Okay. Team 1. What are you gonna do if you are Michelle? Mia, Peter, any idea? Okay, anyone else? If you are Michelle, what are you gonna do? Team 1, Mia, Peter, or anyone else in team 2? Please go ahead.
I'll answer again.
Okay.
Obviously, I think Mitchell should have had, if not, what's her name? Acklin. He should have had somebody from the department, maybe like her most senior worker or someone. He should have had Acklin there. He should have had somebody from the department be a part of the decisions.
Okay, great. So again,
We also said that maybe he should even had the people from the Greenway Project there, because how does he know how much space that they need? Because it doesn't really seem like he spoke to them either, besides just the lady telling the mayor they needed more room.
okay, all right, good idea. Okay. So, great ideas. Okay. Again, the nature of these ideas fundamentally is a communication, right? Go back to the previous step, and then communication, and then go step forward again. Okay. So look at this from the Savannah's point, okay, and the medium's point. Okay? This is a process. Decision making is a process. Flow of multiple steps. You go these steps and back and forth, back and forth. Okay? So I want you to understand this nature of decision making process. Okay? All right, the last one. What are Krista Eklund's current space user options for responding to Michelle's decisions? What should she do now? Why? Okay, we already talked about that, right? Okay, Krista, okay, we can talk about that. All right, communicate, okay, and reanalyze, okay, analyze, okay, what alternatives we have. Then make decision again. Then implement it. Then go back. Go ahead again. Okay. All right. So let's move. Okay. So decision is a choice made from available alternatives. Okay? So at least 2 steps. Okay? To make decisions, you need an alternative. So search for your alternatives first, then make decision. At least 2 steps in a decision-making process, but there are some more steps, of course. Okay? And programmed, non-programmed decisions. So we talked about that. So programmed like routines, and non-programmed and unique situations. Okay, there are some characteristics. And certainty, uncertainty. All right, certainty is not available. Okay, in most decisions, you are involved with some level of uncertainty. All right. So certainty is a situation in which all information is fully available. It is ideal, but it's not realistic. Okay? Risk, future outcomes associated with an alternative are subject to chance. Okay? Chance. Uncertainty depends on the amount and value of information available. Okay? So risk is chance. Okay? Uncertainty is about information. So distinguish this. Okay? Risk is about chance, probability. Uncertainty is about information, the lack of information. So sometimes people interchangeably use risk and uncertainty, but it's not. It's not a good way to communicate. Risk is a probability. Uncertainty is an information. Make sense? Okay. All right. Conditions that affect the possibility of decision failure. Okay? The possibility of failure, high, uncertainty, ambiguity, and non-program decisions. Okay? So ambiguity, situation, and non-program decisions, high possibility of decision failure. Okay? Ambiguity, making decisions in difficult situations, okay? Like a pandemic. All right. So there is often no right answer, but there's a better answer. Okay. Decision-making models, we talked about that. Classic, administrative, and political. Classical model, rational. Okay. Full information. Okay. Full rationality. Okay. Normative. administrative, bounded rationality, alternatives, and intuition. This is more realistic. Political model, coalition building and negotiation, and satisfying people. Got it? So I'm not going to replicate each model. Just read it, and then you can find. Okay, that makes sense. All right, then. Oh, this table is pretty good one. Okay, it summarizes it. Okay, classic model, administrative model, and political model. So use this table. Decision-making steps. At least two steps. But there are multiple steps. Okay? Recognition of decision requirement. Oh, I have to make decisions. Diagnose and analysis. External, internal environments. Develop alternatives. Okay? Then selection of alternatives. This is decision making. Okay? And implementation of chosen alternatives. Implementation. Then evaluation, feedback. Then go back to this. Okay? But in each step, okay. So I don't like this one-way arrow. Actually, you go anywhere in this process. Back and forth. That is more realistic. All right. Then personal decision framework, situation, personal decision style, and then decision choice. Okay. So what types? Directive style, analytic style, conceptual style, behavioral style, personal decisions. Your style. Okay. Think about that. What style you are in? What style you are? For me, is a kind of analytic and conceptual. Yes, yeah. For me, it's sort of analytic and conceptual. But some people I see directive. Yeah, some people are behavioral. So because I'm sort of combination of behavioral conceptual. I like you, medium. I like you. All right. Anyone? What star you are in? Let me know. What star you are? I am analytical and conceptual style, so that's why I love people who are directive and behavioral. So medium says it's a combination of behavioral and conceptual. I am working very well with medium actually. Compliments. All right, let's move. Why do managers make bad decisions? Okay. Being influenced by initial impressions, past dependency, past decisions, okay. Seeing what you want to see. There are many reasons. Okay. Managers make bad decisions. To avoid it, new information is needed. Okay. Innovative decision making, brainstorming, hard evidence, rigorous debate. See, all of these techniques bring new information, new perspectives. Okay? Managers always need a new perspective, new information to have better decisions. Okay? You will be that new information, new perspective in your future job. Okay? All right. This is pretty much about chapter 8. Okay. It's a chapter 8 or 9, whatever. Okay. So, any question, comment? Okay, if you don't have any question, comment, I want to conclude today's meeting. Okay, so next week, we're going to have the exam 2 and the presentations. Okay, so You are ready to go? No question, no comment? Okay, all right, good. You're free to go. I will see you in the next week. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Sutton. Thank you, Sabana. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Mia. All right, great.
You are currently the only person in this conference.